before we get into things, let's go ahead and go down the card real quick. Quick
No,
results.
it's not that close. I had it for
No
a
worries.
couple
Okay,
hours.
so we started things off with the women's War Games match. Team Candice took on Team Shotzi, and kind of a culmination of some heated rivalries within that match. But when the dust settled, Team Candice actually defeated Team Shotzi after Raquel Gonzalez pinned Io Shirai, which was one of the more surprising finishes of the night. We'll get into a little bit more later. Uh, Next up, we had Tommaso Ciampa taking on Timothy Thatcher in a bit of a grudge match that was booked recently.
Hey, blessing.
And we had Tommaso Ciampa coming out on top, defeating Timothy Thatcher via pinfall. After that, we had another grudge match. This one with a bit more of a build to it. Dexter Lumis taking on Cameron Grimes in a strap match, and the way things played out, Dexter Lumis picking up the win via submission. And after that, we had the NXT North American Championship on the line in the only title match of the night, with Leon Ruff defending his title against Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano. And boy, what a match that was. When the dust settled on that one, we actually saw Johnny Gargano picking up the win via pinfall to win the title back. Then in our main event, we had the men's War Games match, Undisputed Era taking on the self-proclaimed Kings of NXT, with Undisputed Era picking up the win after Kyle O'Reilly pinned Oney Lorcan. So that's our quick results.
But what a wild night!
Crazy night.
Mm-hmm.
It was something. We started watching. I started watching during the pre-show, just to see all the video packages and stuff. Because I wanted to see what they did with them, and I ended up finishing early. I know James is still streaming at that point.
Yeah, I was still streaming.
But it was a little bit longer than I think maybe it should have been. Like WWE pay-per-views during the pandemic have trailed on the shorter side lately, which I think is fantastic. This one ended up going a bit long.
Two War Games matches.
Two War Games matches. Yeah. I think it was some of the matches in the middle that really went long. To me, like actually Grimes and Lumis went about 10 minutes too long. But I think it was a solid show. So first up, we had the women's War Games match. Of course, Team Candice won when Raquel Gonzalez pinned Io Shirai. I thought it was real nice too, because we had discussed this on Thursday about how the faces never have the advantage in this game, in this match. So we were wondering how they're going to book around that, and I thought how they booked around it was great. They had Raquel Gonzalez, so they had all 3-on-3, and then Io Shirai is the last person for Team Shotzi to come in, and Raquel Gonzalez just spent 5 minutes, keeping Io out of the ring.
Yeah.
Which was great until Candice came in and blindsided her, and then they kept her out of the ring. They locked her out of the ring for a bit, and they ended up. So the heels still ended up getting like a 4-on-3 advantage, which they weren't supposed to have. So I thought that was a nice subversion of kind of that normal trope they've been relying on the last 3 years.
And then Candice makes the mistake of
literally
trying to pin.
We've had 4 matches in 3 years, and the heels have always had the advantage.
Yeah, well, that's tradition. War Games tradition, heels usually have the advantage. Mm-hmm. It's been a tradition in War Games, like all the time, literally. So it was a subversion of.
It was a nice subversion,
and then you had the Candice made the mistake of trying to pin her, and it's like technically Io's not in the match, so the match hasn't started yet. Yeah. And then Io does the crazy thing of putting the trash can literally on her body and using herself as a missile. That's insane.
I also typed in our chat OMG, but I said out loud, "Oh my god," because that's just dangerous. Like
that is insane.
As soon as the trash can goes over her head, she can't see what she's doing.
Yeah. So she just has to hope. The thing that helped her was
she turned sideways.
She turned sideways.
Yeah.
She turned sideways. So she kind of okay, you're right there. I just got to turn sideways and hope you catch me.
Yeah, I mean, like it's no laughing matter. Like not being able to see.
I know. Well, now I can laugh now because no one got hurt. But that was. Oh my gosh. I don't know who thought
there was
of
a
that.
second spot too where Dakota Kai did a double foot stomp on the trash can with Io Shirai in it, and then she couldn't get Io out of the trash can.
Because she stomped it on her. Literally stomped it.
And I thought, oh my god.
She was like,
I was thinking again, like, oh shoot, that's a botch. Io's trapped. You know. Like that's a problem. They were able to force it off of her, but that was. Lots of cringe-worthy spots, like
it
just
was, man. I don't know who thought of that, but I'll give them respect for that. I mean, that's you have to do. They're trying to one up, and other than that, I thought it was a great match. I thought
it was a great match. I think this match was the best.
Ladies put themselves out there. It was really well done. You see some rivalries built from there, and then it looks like they built Raquel Gonzalez is being built as maybe the next challenger to go in that route.
Maybe
because she's.
I think for me, this of the 5 matches, this was the match of the night because there was a lot of individual feuds going on into it, which I think added to the match. A lot of like outside and right now I think this is really funny because early in the year we said the women's division sucks. Now the women's division is the strongest it's ever been in NXT.
Yeah.
Right. You have 8 women. Really 9 with I guess Indy Hartwell. Who else is
Hartwell? She's still getting healing up, but they finally.
Tegan Knox comes back.
Tegan Knox. They're finally refreshing the women's division again. Here's what happened is the main roster drained them so damn fast that they never had a chance to even rebuild.
Right, they did that, and it was
they got drained
for a while, but it's reloaded. Like this is how you build a women's division.
Well, because they're healing up again.
Take some notes here because AEW's women's division is lacking. And we were even saying this, with the beginning of the year when we started doing the show, I had said, what's in the women's division right now? It's just Io and Rhea, right?
Yeah.
And that was the entire women's division. Now it helped that Toni Storm and Ember Moon both came back from injury.
Yes, that helped.
I think Toni Storm came from the pandemic being over, but Ember Moon came back from injury. They really did well to build up Dakota Kai. Like it took a long time for me to understand like Dakota Kai's new character. I think tonight was like Dakota Kai's coming out as like now
her character
now she's really a badass heel in a way that she hasn't been before very recently.
Well, it's hard for her to translate from because more she was more of a very good.
She was a face. She was a baby face. She was kind of a baby face.
She can kick and everything like that, but she was kind of a native
too. Like she was scared of her opponents. So it took a long time for her to translate for hey Rob Lowe, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by too.
But
really hey Rob,
I think I
and so she finally got to her own. I think she's finally comfortable with her character. I think she's comfortable with her character.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I agree. So I think Dakota is
and Raquel Gonzalez seems to have getting into her now as the enforcer. She's a powerhouse and everything. Toni Storm. And that's the first time I've seen Toni Storm as a heel. She's seen Toni Storm as face. First time I've seen her as heel, and she looked pretty good as a heel. She looked mean as a heel, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, no, that
for me.
Yeah, I think we're back up now. Okay, yeah.
And so
yes, I think this was very much a.
And then now that you have like Amber in here, Rhea Ripley's still hanging around, which I'm surprised. I think they're just waiting for Flair to come back before they move Ripley up.
Probably. In the meantime, we can
but you still have the division now is stacked again, and then Shotzi they're building Shotzi Blackheart up now. Shotzi's being built up. Shotzi used the cattle mutilation. She really used the cattle mutilation. I'm like cattle mutilation. Yes. Somebody has brought it back. I was so happy to see that. So so they bringing Shotzi up. So the division now, it's got some depth into it and everything. I think Io, and I'm expecting Io to either lose it soon, they might move her up and everying.
Let's just take it as it is.
Well, let's take it one at a time. So so other words, really good match. I still wanted the faces to win. I'm always rooting for the faces to win, so I thought they won. But I thought it was a great match. Your thoughts, Alex, on that?
Go ahead.
No worries. Well, no.
I was trying to get him
in. First of all, I'm just happy that we have so much to talk about from that match because it really was, as you guys said, it was very much a showcase for the NXT Women's Division at this time because like it was just like 2 or 3 months ago we were looking at the women's division was kind of summed up in here's like 2 or 3 people that are kind of like here are 2 or 3 women feuding with each other.
Just Io and
then it was Io, Rhea, and
exactly. The Robert Stone brand's freaking association with some women, and that's all it was. But now we have very much a solid division that's not. And to be really honest, I think Robert Stone being away, whether it's injury or whatever the reason for him being away from all this is probably for the better at the moment. Like, It was
No,
well.
I'm
saying it was. Well,
no,
I guess what I'm saying is it was entertaining. It was
is...
entertaining when that was like when I felt like it was entertaining at the time that it needed to be. But I mean, like it's given the fact that kind of disappearance, that absence has made like the rest of the division really grow and form, and we've seen it come to a head here tonight with like again these feuds that have been culminating in this.
Yeah.
And what we see coming out of that.
The problem with
Candice and Dakota
Stone,
have been like lurking around for a while.
Stone is a wrestler.
Now they're starting to like come into their own as like
right,
major characters. I think Candice's heel turn with Johnny it really helped her out. But even then, it was kind of slow build. But now we're starting to see more of that too.
And again, like I kind of pushed this in our chat on Discord. I was like, we kind of, I think we all agreed on this. Like there seems to be at least a chance now that we'll see Raquel Gonzalez actually start to step up, like because she pinned the champion in this, in all of this. It cannot be.
She's the number one contender, right? That's WWE.
Technically, she's number one right now. Yeah, she would be the number one. Just if you go off the pin alone.
It cannot be understated that Raquel Gonzalez pinned the champion. So
that's generally how WWE declares.
That's generally how it's supposed to work.
In a non-title match, like that's how the Hurt Business is the number one contenders on Raw, and that's the only other tag team.
But that's my point.
That's the WWE way to get title shots is to pin the champions in non-title action.
I'm just saying, like at the very least, that could set something up where you start to see her starting to actually feud with Io coming off the back of that, and that's pretty exciting. Like it'll be interesting to see. Like,
I like Raquel.
It's good to see a little bit of a shake up, and I think this match helped with that. So yeah.
All right.
What do you guys think, Gus? Yay, nay?
Yeah, what are you guys in the chat? What do you guys think in the chat?
Oh yeah, we heard. Yeah,
that's really good too.
Yeah, I definitely plan on watching that documentary first chance I get. But
and we said it before we went on, Rob. Before we went on, I'm glad Keith Lee is getting this because he deserves this, and I think he should be being pushed as the next big thing.
I mean, we started getting some extra stuff from Drew McIntyre before he started getting pushed.
Yeah.
He got his 24 documentary right before the World Rumble.
Yeah, so I think they're starting to push Keith now as that too. So I hope.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Kais, I hear you.
Yeah, Io was scared with some of his thoughts. All right. How about let's go to the second match then? Because I think there's so much more we could say on this match, but then we'd be here all night. So I'm gonna like shift our.
So we have.
If you have other thoughts in chat though, please come in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We'll stop what we're doing to do that. The second match of the night was Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa won, right?
Yep. Yeah, Ciampa won. Which we predicted. We predicted that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a head and heart thing. I think Thatcher needed to win, but I knew Ciampa was going to win.
The reason I think Ciampa was winning because they're moving. I bet you they're going to move Ciampa into that main event spot. I know we got the tease with Karrion Kross and everything.
Maybe he'll get another shot at Karrion Kross.
Yeah, or he'll get another shot at Kross, nothing like that. So I think they're moving him up into the main spot. And I don't think this hurt Thatcher at all. I thought it was a good hard-hitting match. These guys were just pounding the crap out of each other.
Yeah, so Rob said that Thatcher was brutal, and he is like, I don't know where he came from.
Rupture like his eardrum or something?
I don't know, but he just hits so hard, like there's no faking that. It was Ciampa got the victory. I don't think it was like a special match or anything. It was a typical.
Madman, I think from that one, I think was Shotzi was probably selling it as she didn't see it.
So Madman said, chat, just so we're gonna record the video, is that he was confused why Candice put the chair on herself before Shotzi jumped on her. I think that was probably to protect herself, or to what was supposed to happen, but didn't. So
But and bless, you're right. I think I don't think it hurts Thatcher at all.
I disagree.
I don't think it hurts him.
Well,
Alex,
I think that's the key. And I'm with Rob on this. I think because this, for all intents and purposes, this feud was just starting within like the last 2 or 3 weeks, it seems. So I think this is definitely going to be a case where we actually see them continuing with at least another match or two before we get anything further before either of them really goes on to something else. I've seen a good number. I've seen a couple or a few Thatcher matches before, so this definitely lived up to my expectations as far as like just how hard hitting it could be. Like that's why I mentioned on Thursday that like I kind of had a feeling this was gonna have some like really hard strikes and some really good like.
It's probably gonna keep going. All of our chat kind of agrees it's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I disagree that it was good for Thatcher. I think it's not because he's yet to win a big match. And that's really the problem with this Thatcher character. Like, I love the vignettes and I love the the Thatcher's Thatch Can School, and they do that often, and it's fun. But do you know the last time he won a match? Because I don't.
Riddle.
Riddle.
He beat Riddle in the cage. In Riddle's match. He's beat a couple of the underneath guys and everything, but that was the last major win. That was the last major win.
But like his last win was what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago? Yeah. So like that's the point I'm trying to make.
I still don't think it hurt him. I think they might go another one where he might beat Ciampa in the second match.
They probably do that because that's the kind of booking we're accustomed to seeing. Well, they might go back and forth. Especially since they subverted the other back and forth they have going on right now. So they need to have a back and forth. That's just the way WWE is. I'm not being negative.
No.
I really think Thatcher needs to go over somehow.
Like, I
see your point.
I see Thatcher. Yeah. I see Thatcher coming out and costing Ciampa a match and everything. When we think Ciampa thinks it's over, Ciampa has another match. Maybe he has a match with Finn Balor and everything. And Ciampa comes out. Thatcher comes out and costumes the match and everything. And they said this ain't over with yet. And then
Grimes and Lumis is gone for a couple months, and that's probably over. Hopefully.
That one I think may be over. Yeah, this one might be over. That one. But which is speaking of that. That's the next one. Next match.
Okay, there we go.
It's Thatcher.
So our next.
I was just mentioning some. Rob pointed out at least the last actual like win Thatcher's had was over Dexter Lumis on November 11th. But I think to your point, like the last.
I think that was when Cameron Grimes like.
Yeah, and I do think that to your point, I think the issue is like the last time we've seen him get like a big win, because I don't think I've seen him win like. I can't recall the last time he won a like a takeover match.
Riddle.
What was the one against Riddle? Right, that would be the last time he.
That's the major one. That's the major.
That was on takeover.
That was not.
That was
okay.
on
okay.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So anyway, the next match was Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Cameron Grimes brought out his own strap for some reason. We thought.
Yeah, I thought it.
Yeah, you and I both said the thing. We thought it might be a gimmick, but it wasn't. I mean, he ended up using the second strap as a weapon later on in the match, which was fine. To me, I like Cameron Grimes. I like Cameron Grimes a lot. This match went on way too long, and Cameron Grimes should have won. And hold on, I think our stream went down again. And we're good. So we're good. All right, anyway, so as I was saying, I think this match went on just a little bit too long, probably about 10 minutes too long, honestly. Which 5-match card is kind of the weakness of NXT. I wish they could have gotten another feud in there somewhere. But anyway, went on too long, and I would have preferred Grimes to win.
I thought it was okay. Here's the thing. The problem is, though,
he's gotten one win over Lumis, and then Lumis has beaten him like the last 3 times in a row.
I think they ended it. This was to end it. I think this was to end the feud and everything. I thought it was fine. I like Lumis. I like what Lumis needs to do. I love Lumis is he doesn't really need to talk much. I love the eyes and the mannerisms. He's just crazy. He looks crazy. He looks like he's gonna rip. He looks like he's gonna wear your skin. That's he looks like he's just gonna guy that's gonna peel your skin and wear it. And so I was fine with that. We're right. I agree though. It probably went on longer than it should have.
I thought Ciampa.
I think it was 10 minutes too long. I did enjoy the match. I loved the psychology of it. I like that at the very end where he kind of twists his legs up and it pulls him and he lands head first into the chair. I thought, and then he just put him the silence right there. I thought that was well done. But yeah, it probably went longer than it should have. And honest with you, this may not have been needed to be a takeover match only because the champions, like mostly like the heavyweight, the world champions, not still out. The tag team champions are in War Games, and there's only one title match on there. So this match technically probably shouldn't have been a takeover match. More like it should have been a regular NXT match. But it was fine. It was serviceable.
It was probably the longest running feud on the card.
Yeah.
It's with the exception of the intertwining feuds of the women's division, because that's been crazy and going on for a long time. Like in the men's division, it's the feud that's been going on the longest.
And you're right, Rob. Rob said something in the chat that it might have gone longer because the Thatcher match may have been cut a little bit short because Thatcher's bleeding.
So I thought
they may have called it shorter.
Yeah. I do agree. Like the pacing of it was kind of, I don't know. Like I didn't think it dragged on too long, but I do see what you're saying about it going a little long for what it was. I do. And this is where I almost feel weird about saying this, but like I'm happy about Lumis winning for precisely one reason, and that has nothing to do with like who actually needed the win on that one. Yeah, no, because
you and your selfish reasons.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I think I do feel like, to be really honest, I kind of feel like Grimes needed this win because of like how many times Lumis has gone over on him in the feud leading up to it. Because I mean, like, especially given who Grimes is, it's like Grimes is the kind of guy who should be able to at least sneak a win more often. And then friggin'
the Grimes is that,
and then just be like, okay, now Lumis wins here in the blow off match, but also to Chris's point about whether I think about this kind of needed to be on Takeover purely because of how long the feud was going, but it did kind of feel like it could have been on the regular program.
Yeah, it could have been a main event of NXT.
It could have been a main event for NXT. Like they ended up giving a lot of good matches on the main event.
I feel like a chunk of their feud has like, because the previous matches, the matches prior to this, you had their match at Halloween Havoc, which was an NXT special episode, and then like you had like the blindfold match, like that was like the week after, wasn't it? They've had like match after match after match on NXT like programming leading up to this. So on the one hand, it made sense to put this on Takeover. Ultimately, hopefully, this ends the feud.
Ridiculous sign. All right. So after that, we had the NXT North American Championship match. Yeah, nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about, guys. So we had Leon Ruff, the North American champion, defending his title against Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. We saw the end of the match come when a bunch of more Scream people showed up. Basically, I called the Retribution in our private chat.
He did.
Retribution 2.0. It's Retribution 3.0.
But it was actually Austin Theory 7 times. So.
Oh gosh!
It was me, Austin. It was me all along. I love that. But Johnny Gargano won the title back, so he's a three-time NXT North American champion.
I'm upset. I'm upset because I really, really was liking the Leo Ruff storyline. I really liked Leo Ruff.
This is the first match I liked Leon Ruff. Yeah,
and I love that rebound. That rebound clothesline he did was beautiful. That when he puts his head underneath the rope, bounces off of his chest, and comes off the clothesline kind of twisted. I loved that. I'd never seen that one before. That looked great. And I loved his, I did this. This is me. I'm the champ. I was getting to like that. I wanted to go a little bit farther with that, to him getting a big head and finally didn't get smashed. Something like that.
I mean, I like the match except for one issue, and we had talked about it, is when Damian Priest, so they've telling the story. Damian Priest is like, Leon, just get out of the way. I'm going to beat up Johnny. And Leon's not, or Priest is not taking Leon seriously.
Right.
And Leon, of course, doesn't like that. So he tries to beat on Priest. So Priest picks him up for the Razor's Edge and into one of the barricades that falls down, which causes some of the staff to fall down to a different barricade, which was hilarious. But this is where I think the match kind of lost it. Like, this would have been match of the night if not for this little thing for me, and that was having the referees carry Leon Ruff to the back. I mean, we all knew who was going to run back into the match anyway. Why couldn't is Leon Ruff a serious character or not? Are we supposed to take him seriously in this match and in this division or not? I know he's the underdog.
I think they overthought that.
How much better it would have been if he just crawled out of the wreckage instead to come back in to stop the pin that he ended up stopping, right?
Right. I do want to jump on that real quick because So I see what you're saying, and I do agree in that I think I would have preferred to see him, still just recovering outside, eventually coming back in from there. But
Priest's remorse would have been more like, oh, because Priest could just watch and be like, shoot,
right.
Okay? I kill him, and he's just there.
I think I do, but the one point of contention I have is that I don't think the fact that they were taking him to the back, I don't think it took away from like how serious he was being presented, because I feel ultimately that was just a matter of just that saying like, okay, they're just trying to make sure like that he's gonna be okay. But to be fair, you also see that. I mean, you also see that. I feel like I've seen that a lot where if someone's injured, they take him to the back at some point.
Yeah.
That just was what happened
but
here.
He wasn't really injured. That was gimmick.
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time.
Well, no, I know. I'm just sometimes. Well, the thing is, sometimes the gimmick looks like it's like he's actually being injured, and sometimes there's a question there. But again, I don't, like I said, I want to circle back around. I do agree with you about it would have been nice to see him doing that, like to see him recover from outside. But that was my point on one. I do want to bring up something Kai's brought up on a couple points. Ty's brought up here. Kai's brought up like hearing that Devon's sons are helping with these masking ups, and I will say, if this is how we get the sons of Devon Dudley introduced to the NXT universe, I would be okay with that.
I'm not sure about that because they were literally on AEW 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So that's that may or may not be.
So Devon's sons debuted for AEW 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I think they wrestled the Acclaimed, maybe. No.
Oh, okay.
Who did they wrestle?
The other.
Oh, they wrestled the Young Bucks actually.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. The other thing was Kai said he saw.
No, I don't remember who they wrestled. They wrestled someone.
But
yeah, the other
thing. It was Jungle Express they wrestled.
Okay.
But are they?
I have no idea if they're elite, but they did wrestle Jungle Express 2 weeks ago.
No, but my thought is, and I agree with Chris on this, it would have fit better in the context of the story is if like I said, Damian Priest chucks him through there, goes, oh crap, and then suddenly Johnny jumps him and they start fighting into the ring. And
and then you just get a camera cut to Leon occasionally laying in the wreckage.
Yeah, laying in the wreckage. That would have worked better because Damon didn't have chance to maybe, look at what his actions have done because he's fighting now Johnny. And Johnny's then suddenly he makes that fin and Leo comes up, boom, and then like that. Then what it does is
and then we got that moment a couple minutes later where once again Priest was with Leon. He's like, I gave you your chance. This is your last chance. Yeah. So we got slapped in the face, and then Priest chokeslammed him. That's great.
The other point I wanted to bring up from Kai's is that he saw a match with Leon in Evolve. He's good, unique style. He's an underdog who's not a coward, just naive. And I'm actually glad Kai's brought this up because that was actually a question I had about Leon Ruff and because knowing that he was coming from being in Evolve from Evolve was one of the few things I knew about him. I didn't know if this was a situation where he had a completely different character or gimmick or whatever before, and then they were just presenting him this way here, because you see that kind of thing happen all the time throughout wrestling history. But if it turns out this is just a carryover of that Evolve kind of that Evolve character, that's all the better. I think it's great that you actually see that carry over.
Leon's playing a character that's been done in the territories for the longest time.
Oh yeah, it works well.
He's that young underneath guy that's got a lot of talent, but he's just a rookie. He's the rookie coming in. He got his first big shot. He essentially is the middle. He's essentially the go-between between the feud between Gargano and Priest. It's like Damian Priest is using him as
a great subversion of what was going to be a standard fuse. Otherwise, they involved a third person, and he won the title from them.
He won the title, and then he comes. Then he's not like. Then he's considered like Priest is like, yeah, you're. I used you and everything. I'm not mad at you, but you're not up to my level here. You need to get out the way before I hurt you.
Yeah.
And if Gargano hates him because Gargano's the heel, it's like, you cost me the belt. It's your fault. So, and then Priest, now like you said, Chris, what needs to be done is, and what you said in the Discord we had here is, they need to have a match between Ruff and Priest where Ruff gives Priest everything he's got. So literally at the end, like I said, on kind of like a Undertaker Jeff Hardy thing, where at the end maybe Ruff loses, but he gains Priest's respect.
At this point, what Ruff needs is just a show of respect from the face. Because I mean, he's not going to get it from Johnny ever, because Johnny's the bad guy.
Johnny's the bad guy.
He needs a show of respect.
Yeah, Johnny's run off to go brag about the fact that he won the title.
I mean, if we as the audience are meant to take Leon Ruff seriously, and until tonight, like, I didn't take him seriously. And I know you two, like, we're loving all of this. From the perspective of, should I take Leon Ruff seriously? Well, the TV show is presenting it as, no, I shouldn't. But tonight they
did.
The exception of that spot I didn't like.
Yeah.
He was presented as a legitimate wrestler.
Yeah, he held his
got
own.
to actually do wrestling moves. In a way that he didn't even get to do against his 2 matches with Johnny Gargano, a couple weeks ago. Is he showcased his moves on the ropes, and I thought, okay, him bouncing on the ropes a bunch of times is kind of silly, but I like it, right? Because it's fun.
I still love that rebound. That's an inversion of Nigel.
Oh yeah, that rebound clothesline.
That rebound looks beautiful.
I was thinking the spot where he had Johnny Gargano's arm, and he bounces on the rope, then he bounces on the rope, then he bounces on the top rope, then back to the middle rope, then to the top rope again, and then finally does like an arm drag or something.
Oh, he did that one to escape too. He did the escape Johnny too, where he bounced, and slid underneath him. I thought that was brilliant.
No, it was great. Like, and that's what I want to see out of him. Like, let him be that character. It reminded me a little bit of Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, Ray Phoenix.
I definitely.
So,
I
mean, that's why
that rebound again, and Johnny kicks him in the back of the head, and you can see you're just like, oh.
Yeah. But I mean, the point I'm making here is I'm happy to see this guy. I don't care he's 160 pounds. Like, they do the same thing with Jungle Boy, right? He's like really small too on AEW, but everyone takes him seriously. Even when he does roll-ups and pinning combinations, and Darby Allin's the same way. When they do pinning combinations, they're taken seriously as legitimate wrestling moves. It's not lucky, and that's what I want to see presented as. So I think Leon Ruff getting respect from Damian Priest would tell us, the audience, okay, we're supposed to take him seriously.
We're supposed to take him seriously.
It's possible that the WWE has decided, okay, well, he's just here to mess with the storyline. Now he's gone again.
Yeah,
I hope not. I really hope not. I think
I hope not, but I think it's probably the more likely.
Well, and the reason why I say that is because what we're getting with Theory revealed as the masked Ghostface. Now Gargano has his disciple. Candice has Hartwell. Gargano has Theory. So it looks like they're building like a cult, the Gargano way cult or something like that. And,
the Gargano way cult. I like that.
He's like the motivational. I think he's gonna go more of the motivational. Do it the Gargano way.
Where Leon Ruff earns Priest respect. I could buy that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's. I think that's the best. I think that would probably be the best way that they kind of. The Gargano bunch. Yeah. I think that's kind of the way. I think that's kind of the way that you go. You have the Priest and.
As you know, Ruff. I'm a great booker, and that's how I'd book it.
Yeah, you have Priest and Ruff dealing with their thing for Ruff to get that respect. You have Gargano possibly waiting, Priest is distracted with this whole thing, like with Ruff's quest for respect. That distracts him from going after the title after Johnny's won it. So now Johnny potentially just has to go. Johnny just has to go deal with whoever the next challenger is, which really could be just about anybody. If you think about it, like maybe it's Lumis coming off of this win. Who knows?
Could be Lumis. It could be Lumis. I would kind of work.
I do want to say, guys, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should. I do booking videos as like bonus content in addition to the clips from the show. So click on the link. It's in YouTube. Thank you if you haven't already. I just want to throw this aside because I have to be a positive promoter here.
All right, and that takes us to our next match.
Let's take us to the main event then.
Let's
the main event was the Undisputed Era versus the Kings of NXT. Heels had the advantage, like they usually do, except for
this is traditional War Games match with that.
Yeah. Hard hitting, very long. It was. I don't have a lot to say about it in terms of like what happened during the match because it was just, everyone did all their spots. It was classic. I love that the Kings of NXT had tables with all of the Undisputed Era's names on them. That was nice. That was a fun little thing that they did in teasing Pat McAfee from entering the match when he didn't, and we all knew who was going to enter in last, but that was fine.
Yeah.
I think once again Pat McAfee showed that he's a serious wrestler and we should take him serious.
I mean,
too bad he hasn't won a match yet, but
yeah.
I mean, because he did some spots. He did the moonsault onto the. He did a moonsault too. Before that, he did the swanton. He did a moonsault to break Roger Strong to a table. Unnecessary need to do a moonsault.
He went through a table himself. He took a table bump.
He took he did a swanton off. He took a table bump, which was another thing that he didn't need to do. I thought that was scary because he's going back first into a table. He misses that wrong, he's either breaking his neck or hurting his back like that. So
you won a Super Bowl in football, buddy. Bless you. He had a great.
Well, he was a punter though. So,
anyway, I know, but he's still.
But other than that, I thought overall it was
a great time.
Yeah, greatest punter of all time. No, overall it was a great War Games match. Like I said, Pete Dunne came off looking like a beast in this.
Yeah,
and I mean he just seemed to be like he seemed to raise up like a monster every time. Oni Lurkin and Birch. I like them as heels. I think they're much better as heels now than they were faces. They're mean and nasty too. Undisputed Era is basically, I said in the Discord, they're the horsemen of this era now. Essentially, they came out dressed like the horsemen. They got the suits on, they got the ties. They're the horsemen of this era. And overall, it was a great match. I mean, there's some great spots in there. I still can't believe some of the stuff they were doing. Then there was something. I mean, how did he kick out? They had him kick out the Panama Sunrise.
I know a few people that were not thrilled about that, but like, come on, this proves that he's had enough training to instinctually kick out.
I thought. No, here's the thing: I thought the match could have ended right there. We would have been fine. But him kicking out
finishers, but
then they went off. Then everybody was hitting their finishers. Oh, he did that freaking the bitter end on the chair. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So and then he kicked out of it. So.
Yeah, he kicked out of it. That's the thing.
That should be
the bitter end on the chair.
That's what I thought when the bitter end on the chair. I was like, okay, that's the end of the match right there.
Like, that's what I did too. I was like, that's the end of the match.
Give Pete Dunne the win. Let Pete Dunne win and be the #1 contender.
Yeah, I thought I was thinking too. And then suddenly they finally and then Birch taking it. They finally hit the chair, and then Birch got the chair in his face, and then Kyle O'Reilly drops the knee on the chair. Yeah. I thought I liked the let's finish these guys off. They literally start hitting all their moves on them against the cage.
Exactly.
That was a fun sequence when they were pinned against the cage and just went punch, punch, kick, kick. Oh, no, punch, punch, knee, kick, and then punch, punch, knee, kick to the next guy. And punch, punch, knee, kick to the third guy, and then Pat's all alone.
That's like, hey, I hurt my back. Pat's like, I hurt my back right there, guys. Okay, we're good. Or you got me. I hurt my back on the table thing, and you got me. Okay, it's over. Like I was trying to say, dude.
That's what he said. He's like, I hurt my back. We're done.
Yeah, I know we're done. Like
I think maybe one of the things that might have added to the match a little bit is if Pat actually tried to escape the cage.
Yeah, I like that. It's just funny because I'm just like. Because it brought me back to...
I almost thought to myself, like, if Pat escapes the cage and that ends the match, I think that would be very fitting. And, like, they always say that stipulation in War Games, but has anyone ever actually done it? I know not in NXT.
No, it's never been done. It's been added. Like, if he leaves the cage, it's an automatic DQ.
Yeah,
that was added in NXT,
I know they added that back at, like,
the old War Games that didn't happen because they used to have you couldn't get on the cage because they had a roof on it. So you couldn't do that. But
you can escape.
Yeah. But yeah, so I thought, like I said, Pat McAfee right now has, and it's sad to say, is he might be one of the best heels in the business at this moment, especially when it comes to promo.
He's the top heel in NXT right now.
And he's the top heel in NXT right now. And like I said, even the stuff that they were doing and the stuff that he was doing, and you just hated him. You're like, kill this dude, kill him, hurt him, because you bought into him just being that shit, that piece of shit. I've hired these guys. They're going to do everything to save me. Heel, and he's got it down to a T. And it's just like, damn. How can this guy be so good at this and everything? And I thought it was, like I said,
good.
Great match. It may have gone a little longer than expected. I think they added these extra 10 minutes again. It seemed like they added extra 10 minutes to fill time or something because they didn't really need all that. It was great. I'm not saying it wasn't great. Him hitting that swanton was insane. What is this dude's only his second real match, and he's doing a swanton off the top of the cage?
I mean, he's talked about that. Like, Jeff Hardy was his favorite growing up, so he was like,
that makes sense right there.
You know, he wanted to do that against Adam Cole, but they wouldn't let him do it because he wasn't ready. But this time, you had 7 guys catching him, so it was okay.
So they helped him out. And you had, like I said, and Pete Dunne, like I said, Pete Dunne comes off looking like a tank. I really hope they do run Pete Dunne into Finn Balor. anything like that. I think that would be fantastic.
I think it's going to carry
match.
Cross though because he's.
Yeah, but then Cross, they teased that Cross is coming back and everything like that.
Well, I imagine he's going to go right after Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, I heard that he's healed up. I mean, it is the word that he's healed up faster than they expect. It's been what, 6 months now? 6 months, July. Yeah, so it's been 6 months.
No, it wasn't July. I think it was April.
No, it's July. It was July. It was July, August. It was August.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah, it was because Keith Lee had won, and that was his first defense, and it was they had about 3 weeks. And
you're right. Yeah. Because Keith won it at the Great American Bash NXT special.
Yeah, July 4th.
Second night of that.
So, and then
you're right. Okay, so it's been about 5 months then.
It's been about 5-6 months. So he's coming back probably. And like I said, the first new show of NXT is in 3 weeks. I believe they said new show. They said in 3 weeks. So
yeah, the New Year's Evil special is on January 6th. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they got to run something against AEW.
Yeah. So yeah, I said overall, I thought it was fantastic. It was the era, the Undisputed Era, but now this feud ain't over. I don't think the feud's over though. We just probably expect them to come back.
Like I said, I thought the Kings of NXT needed this win more than the Undisputed Era, but hey, the Undisputed Era got another 2-2.
Well, because they didn't want to end. They didn't want to end the last pay-per-view on the loss into the heels winning.
Fiend coming to NXT.
Don't you put that evil on us, guys.
No.
I wouldn't have.
Alex, do you want to say anything about the match?
I mean, I think you guys covered a lot of it. Like, I was personally, I was very impressed with what Pat brought to the table, like both in this feud and like in this match in particular. Like,
he's been impressive.
Yes, he has the least experience out of this, so yes, he was probably gonna have the least amount of actual time wrestling. But what he did pretty well. Pretty dang well, if you ask me. I will also say that I really enjoyed. I liked how cocky freaking the so-called Kings of NXT were, that they would bring in tables with each Undisputed Era's person's name on her, just like, yeah, we're gonna put these guys through these tables, and I'm pretty sure all 4 of those guys got put through the tables they brought into this. Like, Lee, that's
Roger Strong was the person who got put through his own table.
So the rest of them
went through the other 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Fish put like looking
through the one that said
Birch through Fish's table.
Yes. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, Fish
exactly.
worked through his table because he speared him through it.
Yeah. Because Pat McAfee went through O'Reilly's table, and
Riley's table.
Lorcan and Dunn went through Cole's table.
Okay. Cole's table. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that little plan of theirs backfired on them, and I love that.
And Strong went so early in the match; it was still like another 20 minutes after he went to the table, so he was like back up and doing stuff.
Right.
Well, Strong is the cardio machine, though. He's the guy that they
but
he never tires. So, but
no. Overall, that was a fun main event.
The table didn't break. They had to call an audible because that table didn't break.
I know.
So it was like, oh, that hurts worse. I was like, that hurts worse. The table didn't break. So like, okay,
I mean,
let's triple stack ourselves.
Yeah, so I mean that's honestly my main thought on it, because I think the rest of you guys covered it pretty well. Like, yeah, right, it was a lot of fun, and I'm also glad that Undisputed came out on top. Like, but that's also because like they were, like I said on Thursday, because they were coming in as faces. I'm glad to see that they came out on top in this instance, because it's like, this feud can still continue, obviously, regardless of who is gonna win. I think the fact that
it probably
the Arrow get it just means like the Kings will do something else to further the feud, and I'm sure we will see that as early as this Wednesday.
Right?
Yeah.
Out of this. I mean, I guess he doesn't really have to. He's sort of a celebrity, but maybe, like I said, he's only like, I think he's 33 or 34. He could have a 4 or 5.
He could have a career if he wants to go full time.
He can full time. He's a part-time attraction, and that's fine. Like,
and
he wants to go
he's famous outside of wrestling.
He's good enough. He can do well in there. He can have himself a decent.
Go to the main roster.
The other thing, I think the other thing I want to touch on before we
kind of with the Miz.
The other thing I want to touch on is the simple fact that, like, even if he only continues to be a part-time performer after this, he could very easily settle into the mouthpiece / manager role of his group, because
always bring someone else in.
Because heck, I was watching a video as kind of doing a little bit of research on the War Games match, like traditionally speaking. The
Yeah.
original War Games match, which I think was 5-on-5, and you
5
had
on
the
5,
Four
yes.
Horsemen and JJ
And
Dillon
JJ
on one side.
yes.
So it's like even the manager of a stable can get involved when the need arises.
Well,
the need
JJ
arises
was a part-time
for that
wrestler
here.
too. Yeah, JJ was a part-time wrestler. Then you had the other side. You had the Dusty Rhodes, Road Warriors, and I think it was Nikita. Oh, no, it might have been Nikita.
Nikita Koloff.
Nikita and Paul Ellering. And
exactly.
Ellering, before he was a manager, he was a wrestler too.
Exactly. So it's like, when the need arises, you bring in the managers, and in a way, that's what this was. In a way, to an extent, like because
Who's
again,
the manager of Undisputed Era? Oh,
it's Adam Cole.
Well, yeah, Era doesn't need Era.
All right, it was a joke.
But no, I know, I got that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my buddy Brian.
Says,
my buddy Brian agrees with you on Miz versus McAfee would be a lot of fun.
McAfee goes face, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see him do that.
So it makes sense. Like, because I think at some point WWE will have him on the main roster because he's a ratings draw, right? He's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Like, people want to watch him.
Yeah,
people want to watch him, and he could do a promo.
And that's why if you're not subscribed to our YouTube, you should, because YouTube. See, I got it in twice.
So overall.
All right, guys. I wanted to ask
we'll wrap it up here. Overall, what are you guys' thoughts? Well, let me see. What are the thoughts overall of the show? I'll start.
I wanted to give a grade, actually, James.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
I'll start. You know what? I will again put the thing is I have not experienced a terrible takeover. They seem to be batting 1,000 when it comes to takeover. Like I said, most of the matches I enjoyed. The Lumis match and everything. You could have said that could have been an NXT one, but I'm not gonna. Doc. I say A-. I'll give them an A-. I thought it was a great show. I thought all the matches were pretty well done. I thought the women's match could have been, like I said, maybe the match of the night. There, that's what Chris. That's what you think on that one. I like the final. I like the last match. All these matches I thought were great. I say A-. I'll give it A-.
Okay.
Everything like that.
All right. Well, I'm actually gonna go one slightly higher. I can't give it an A+ because I did notice like little things throughout, and it was primarily like the fact that a couple of the matches did feel like they were going on a bit longer than they should have, but I didn't feel quite as affected by the timing of them as I think you guys might have been. So I'm just giving this a solid.
Yeah, you're
A.
West Coast. You're still going to be up for another 5 hours.
Yeah. 5 hours.
I'm giving this a solid A. Easy.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
For me, I'm going to harshly grade it a B+. I think the Thatcher Ciampa match and the Grimes and Lumis match were kind of filler. I didn't like how they handled Leon Ruff with the spot. So it was a good show.
Yeah.
But it could have been better. It could have been better a couple ways. One, by having better feuds going into it. And it's really tough because, you have, 8 people in the women's match and then 8 people in the men's match, and we have to fill out the rest of the card. I actually would have liked to see another match on the card too. Like, I think NXT needs to use their time more effectively. They have a 2-hour show now, right? Like, they just need to use it a little bit more effectively in
They could have threw the cruiserweight in there. They could have threw Forgasmo in there and everything like that.
Yeah, like, and they have a
match.
second show, right? They have 205 Live technically.
Yeah, they could have threw one of the cruiserweights in there. Yeah, that could have happened.
But I mean, I want to see a feud on. I want to see the feud on NXT TV too. I don't want to match. Like, I just think it needs to be a little bit more effective.
Or a tag team match. You could have another tag team match.
Yeah, I just want another feud in there somewhere. So B+. Could improve it. Chat, if you want to give us a grade, we can read them out loud.
Chad, what do you guys say? Anything?
Yeah. I will say as we're waiting, because I know that there's I'm always keenly aware of the slight delay between us talking and people responding in chat. So
now, hopefully, I hope
once we get to affiliate, we can actually put like polls and stuff.
Heck
yeah.
Guys, 17 more followers and we can do it.
I hope moving forward into the next year that we got the
that's my guy, Blessy.
Yeah, Blessy the guy.
Fair.
I'm hoping that going into the next year we can have the like Dusty Classic. I missed the Dusty Classic for this year, and I'm hoping that we're leading towards something like that.
Every 2 years now, anyway.
That's what it used to be every year. And everything.
Well, I feel like and I feel like this is something that is almost worth being a topic on one of our regular shows, because there's a trend that's happened over the latter course of this year, where especially in WWE they were waiting on this and that and the other on crowds coming back, and I'm like, at some point you have to accept that the crowds will come back when the crowds can come back.
Yeah.
Because you should not be
It's
arguing with friggin' health and safety precautions. That's my opinion on it.
It's not. It's probably
so at some point you can't wait on the crowds coming back to say bring back the Dusty Classic. Like,
no,
look,
I would
okay.
say that.
I'm saying that's what it seems like. It seems like WWE has held off on a lot of these to the point of having to not do it this year because there's no crowds coming in.
Well,
but
I can understand, because with what's happening is they would have minded, because they would have gone with NXT UK and everything, just tag teams to fill it out.
Yeah, and I think that's, that becomes a talent thing, which, like, that's why with the Dusty Classic
and
involving more talent, that is a situation where it's like, yeah, no, if you can't have the talent come in, then yeah, you gotta hold off. I bring it up now because of the fact that, like, one of the biggest examples of them, what seemed to be them having to try to wait on crowds coming back, was Roman returning and doing, like, the heel turn and stuff.
Yeah.
It felt like they were waiting for crowds to come back, and then eventually they realize it's not going to happen this year, so they need to push forward and do that.
Yeah,
so, like I said, that's why I feel like that's something we could discuss. Like, that's probably worth discussing at a future time. I just wanted to bring it up in terms of, like, why we're not seeing stuff like that happening this year. But hopefully, as Jim said.
Yeah.
Alex, as we hit our time, you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, Alex.
Yeah.
So, guys, 17 more followers, and we can start doing polls and stuff too.
Help us
out.
Tell your friends. Tell your families. Tell your children.
Tell 17
your
accounts.
Tell your pets. Tell your cats and dogs. Bring everybody to us.
Tell that cutie you met at the coffee shop.
Let's get stuff. Follows.com.
Oh gosh, don't even get me started on that. No.
All right, Alex.
So so as we wrap up, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with us to talk NXT War Games with us. This has been a fun night.